It's been 7 years doing ScreamRockMosh, and I'll be drawing my life for you. I'm a Battleborn, born and lived in Las Vegas pretty much my entire life. My parents had me along with my sister. I have a half-brother and a half-sister from my dad's side. My half-sister has been doing things with the music scene back when Insert Point was still around, being a DJ called Do Up Bros the Vinylist. I grew up first listening to hip-hop, as my parents would cite of how much cursing the songs would have. I was such a shy kid, from being in school that had a dinosaur as a mascot, to a Bengal, to a lion, and to a grizzly bear. I was really quiet back then and such a shy kid, just a regular kid trying to find my style and fitting in, but was a target, unfortunately, for kids trying to be cool on the insults. I had best friends that were 2 years older than me. Aside from being cool and teasing with each other, I always was the one to get fucked over on things, being left out on decisions, and was picked on for their selfish outlook. I stopped being friends with them. The first concert I ever gone to was Extreme Thing 2008, since it was just a music festival. My first concert was actually Suicide Silence at the Farm. I got fucked up and got a grade 2 concussion. When I went to Treads Fest, it was the time I started filming with a cell phone and thought about doing cinematography and photography for concerts. I pretty much like rock more than rap. As for listening to variations of it in high school, and started listening to rock in middle school. My parents were cool with it too, since they didn't have many bad words like in rap. As for the fallout from that friendship and all that bullying I'd gone through, and the thought of suicide, I was to myself in sophomore year and focused lots on my business, as I've known friends of mine were off doing other things and messing around. I was serious about my business. ScreamRockMosh all happened for me by my best friend John, as he was just getting into bass and planning around the formation of Crucified and Enslaved. He said that I should pick up an instrument. From that suggestion, I thought about it. All I remember is that if I became a musician, all I wanted to be is just being famous for being a rhythm guitarist and likely a part of his death metal band, as I asked Ian to join the band. Since I like movies, I liked watching concerts online, I chose a camera instead of a guitar when my parents asked me what I wanted for Christmas. Besides starting ScreamRockMosh, I wanted to be a professional tennis player. Up to ScreamRockMosh, I was still open to what I wanted to do in life. Being a tennis player would have been awesome, but once I started my business at the age of 15, that was life for me and what I wanted to do. I did have a state of mind where I would want just a job for only money. Since I started ScreamRockMosh, I based it on a career, as from learning what a career was in my life strategies class freshman year. I eventually kicked things off doing ScreamRockMosh with Crucified and Enslaved in the fall of 2010. Their first show at Area 702 was my first gig taking pictures and videos of them. They were the first band I ever done work with in the music scene. I remember getting my first ever photography class media pass by Steven Goldberg. From that time to Treads Fest, I thought about starting up ScreamRockMosh with other people. Since I didn't know anyone else with the same interest, I just went about it myself, and that I was really shy to even ask anyone to join. I was with Crucified and Enslaved for over a year, and my full connection into the music scene was meeting members both from 3D Fun and 24 Dawn at Crucified and Enslaved headlining show at Hypnotic Lounge. As I started working with them, I got to meet more bands along the way. As things were picking up for ScreamRockMosh, there was a period with the music scene when all the concerts happened all the way north. Around junior year, being 16, 17 years old, I took like 3 buses to the second sanctuary, so I was present with my work and support Despite the venue being far and I didn't drive at the time, there could have been a gap in my history of work, but I pulled through, busting it for like 2 hours there and 2 hours back. I was quite an active person throughout being in high school. I would skateboard to venues or house shows to be able to work at concerts. Even though I had my business in high school, I kept things good with my personal life despite the challenges I had personally. I remember going to a concert and going to a party after it. I'll go to a concert the day after the same party being so committed. My rate of going to concerts was a lot as for being in school, and my mom didn't take it seriously, thinking I would be just going to concerts messing around. Besides that, from all the things I've done with ScreamRockMosh 3 of the 4 years got noticed my last year in high school. Once I had my 3-year anniversary, I got an award at Seniors Award Night for Outstanding Business Student. As I received the award, I remember the principal asked me how much money I make. I recall saying not as much, as ScreamRockMosh is a startup business in high school. I was just building up my resume and charging such a small price for my work. I took a hiatus too from ScreamRockMosh senior year so I can focus on graduating. I did it along with the award from Seniors Award Night by the business department of Spring Valley. After high school, I stopped building my resume and got serious in my work by only contributing my services at an applied rate. That is when I noticed bands just wanted my work for free than just paying for it. It was quite a struggle to get bands as official clients around the Ultraviolet and Sports Center days. I've had steady work though, as for still being active, but still felt let down by it. My first big opportunity was filming Extreme Thing all by myself, as I would do ScreamRockMosh. That is when my mom considered my work as an actual business. It was such a mind-blowing opportunity. I got to film things at an angle that I haven't seen done before. Also filmed an intense knockout video that came from space, as After the Burials have said. That video is classified. I still didn't have my driver's license, and once concerts were all in Henderson at Eagle Area Hall, it was such a challenge being able to attend concerts. The first concert there, with the story so far, I missed it because it was too far for me. This time around, I missed concerts frequently. Luckily, I was able to get ride with bands to the concert and after it. One of my best friends, Sierra, definitely helped me a lot that time. He would pick me up and my dad would drive me there. I wasn't able to drive myself until having my 5-year anniversary concert. I sold all my pre-sales for it and loved how death metal the lineup was, as starting out my business with a death metal band. That anniversary was a turning point for me, as to see who really cared about my work, especially among friends. I remember everyone that attended. As I've attended tons of concerts for bands in our music scene, I only had one concert ever. Since my 5-year show, my work and support is 100% to bands who have paid for my work. Also, driving now makes me more reliable to making it to concerts without the issue of relying on my parents, friends, or bands. I have a much more firm business these days, as for working with 84 bands in my longest run of 7 years of work with the Las Vegas music scene. My current associates are with Oscillations, Journey to Rapture, Spiritual Shepherd, Almost Awake, Reckless, I Am of Terra, Red on Society, The Avenue, Arc, Irie, Dying to Live, Declassified, and Pure Joy people that are currently making an impact. Out of all the bands I work with, I've only been very close with one, being Crucified and Slave. I'm getting close with Almost Awake personally, but I'm not as close with them as I am with Crucified and Slave, along with Spiritual Shepherd. The drummer Ian in Spiritual Shepherd was the drummer in Crucified and Slave. Also, I know the other 3 members in Spiritual Shepherd that I know personally, as with Ian, and hang out as close friends than I would with other bands. I have an excellent friendship with most of the bands currently working with me, but it's in a professional way. I keep my professional life and personal life separate. Those I work with and those are my closest friends are different. It's just a perspective I picked up doing my work along the years. As from one bad experience, I'm all good with them, but it's just such a bad experience of a friend that had a band and pulls that friend card on me with my work and services. It's better that way than having 2 lifestyles mixed up. I'm such a serious person doing ScreamRockMosh, but I'm an explicit sarcastic person personally. My journey so far has been a definite long one. A shy kid that started a business at the age of 15, now being 22, experience of working all around the Las Vegas music scene. For my association, it helped me not being shy anymore, both professionally and personally. My work helped build me as a person. I was able to pull through with my business all by myself. I'm an accessory and responsible to everything to my business and a direct source. Everything I've done and accomplished was all by me. I had to do my own problem solving and get certain things done that make ScreamRockMosh what it is today. Definitely doing a lot for my line of work than I would be as a musician. The route as a musician would have died out as Crucified and Slave broke up 4 years ago, and surprisingly I've doubled over their range. I would straight up drop everything with the music scene, being in that devastation position as it was to John. All the work I'm doing is quite slow as being an individual, but I've gone quite far. Then I started 7 years back doing my work with just one band. I'm pretty much 7 years serious with all this, treating all this as work and never asked to go to a concert for free. I already had my biggest concert moment with Paramore in their self-titled era, and I mostly go to concerts only for local bands. Rarely attend any other concerts that isn't at the core of the music scene. I prefer to have a close audience to my work, and so I'm comfortable when work being noticed to those I work with and to those who see it within the Las Vegas music scene. Not grabbing too much attention, but I do plan for a larger audience to witness my work and the bands associated with me. I still got important things in development before it itself an actual business. I just want to have as much content and experience I can before marketing myself outside the Las Vegas music scene. At the end of the day, people like the person who runs the business than the brand. ScreamRockMosh is just what my work is called. I'm a person, not an android. I'm always there for the bands that are officially working with me these days. Either I'm filming for them or just being there to support all in person. I think I'm doing an excellent job being there for them. I try my overall best for my clientele. There wouldn't be ScreamRockMosh if I didn't decide myself to go forth on it with my talk with John. Anyone can start a business. There is no monopoly type of business in this field of work. That is mostly illegal to an extent by the government. Imagine having the same game system, food, or worse, the same kind of music for your entire life. That would be insanely boring. There are other photographers and cinematographers out there, but I serve a unique kind of business doing my work with the music scene that is as different with others working in the same field as I do in this capitalist free market economy. I'm staying independent with my work, and the career path going by myself has been doing well for me. I've been doing this for such a long time. This isn't a day, week, month, or a year. It has been a whole 7 years working and supporting the Las Vegas music scene. The whole start of this is 7 years back in high school, and I already feel like a veteran at all this. As active as I've been this time around, things will be slow than usual. I'm pretty much in my senior year, being 22 years old. From treating ScreamRockMosh as a career-driven business, I'm finally getting a second job, even though that was the entire goal from my 6-year anniversary. I've shown what I'm capable of and how supportive as I've been before. This time, the schedule of things will be different, but I hope to be there for all the bands I work with in the near future. I thought about taking my first year off, going to a hiatus, or actually concluding my own business. I'll just be really slow with my work this time around and get it fixed more on my personal life and adult life. Also, that I do need some time away from my work. That's why the pace will be slow. The business has been an excellent journey, but the perspective of things has changed from starting all this in high school to being an adult. Without me, there is no ScreamRockMosh. The original plan for my business was all thought out by me as an individual. If there is in any way my line of work has changed its current direction of 7 years, or I am suddenly not a part of it, I have been informed.